So today I wanted to talk about why practicing gratitude can really supercharge our magic. But first of all, what I did want to say is that I'm not suggesting that even if we find ourselves in dire circumstances, we just need to quote unquote be grateful and that will make it all okay, and we should deny our circumstances and deny how we really feel. That's not what I'm saying. However, I do think that even in some difficult times, we can tap into gratitude, and it can make all the difference to us from a psychological perspective and to our magic. And this has just been from my experience, so take that for what it's worth and see how you get on with it. So the first way that gratitude can supercharge your magic is that I feel that gratitude really helps to shift your mindset from a sense of lacking something into one where you feel you have enough. I don't have any evidence at all to back this up, but I do believe personally that if we go into magical workings with a sense of desperation about wanting the magic to work because we're really struggling and perhaps the magic is the thing that we're relying on, I have a strong sense that that might affect the magic in a negative way. If we're performing a magical working, coming into it with an energy of desperation, of panic, I just wonder how much of that energy will be infused into the magic. Whereas if maybe we think about where we're at and also consider what we do have, not just what we don't have, that can help shift our mindset into remembering that perhaps things aren't as bad as we think they are. And I think that can help shift the way that we approach our magic. The next powerful aspect of gratitude I found is that it reduces my need for the outcome. It reduces that lust of result. And I see this a lot in the gallery of Magick books in particular, that once you've done your magical working, they talk about being grateful that the magic has been worked. And if you get a sense of doubt in your mind, bringing in that gratitude that the magic is working, it's out there and it's doing its thing. And when I do that personally, I really feel my sense of wanting that outcome to reduce. I tap into being happy or content with where I'm at, and that this thing I'm asking for, it will be a good bonus if it does happen, but I'm not holding on tightly to it. I'm not relying on it in any way. It's an additional thing in my life if it does happen, but that ultimately where I'm at right now is enough. The next superpower of gratitude I found is that it opens me up on a psychological and physiological level. And again, this is just my experience with it, but I find that when I doubt and when I cling onto the outcome from a mental and a physical perspective, I find that I tighten up, I tense up, I close down to possibilities. It's like I'm kind of scrunching myself up physically into a ball. I feel like I constrict. Whereas when I practice gratitude and when I'm mindful of what I do have in my life, it's a really liberating feeling actually. I feel my mind is open to the possibilities. I find that my body relaxes, it lets go of the tension. It's like I'm putting my shoulders back and my chest out. I'm opening up to what could happen. I'm opening up to the world around me. I don't know if you've experienced that as well, when you felt doubt versus gratitude, or when you're clinging versus when you're grateful, but I would try it. Maybe do a bit of an experiment and have a go at some magic and really tap into doubt and wanting to cling on to that lust for result and see how you end up feeling from a mental and physical perspective. And then try practicing gratitude and see how that affects you. And so because those powerful shifts happen in myself, this is why I feel it's so important to tap into gratitude when we're practicing magic, because that sense of openness and possibility, I feel that energy that we in it can be potentially infused into our magic. That's what we put out there as well. Now, this one might be something people disagree with. I've heard some occultists on YouTube say that the psychological aspect of magic isn't actually magic itself. I don't know what I think of that. But what I do know is that when we shift our mindset about things, our perception of reality changes. It also can change what actions we take. And therefore, when we shift our perspective psychologically, it can change our outcomes. Is that magic? Who knows? But thinking about gratitude itself as a magical act, it's that process of choosing how we interpret a situation. we can be in a difficult situation and think of it in one particular way. And like I said before, that can lead us to feeling constricted and full of doubt and tension and resentment perhaps, and feeling hopeless and helpless. Or we can think about a situation in another way where we recognise that it's challenging, and at the same time we also remind ourselves of what we do have, of what we are grateful to have in our lives, whether it's people, relationships, a roof over our head, a job that maybe we may not even like that much, but it's a job and it pays us a wage. So really shifting away from a sense of lack and moving into a place where we feel we have enough. And that shift of our mindset, of our internal space, can help us view the outside world in a different way. I know that when I walk around and I feel grateful, the world looks different to me. It looks brighter, it looks more alive. Whereas when I'm not feeling in a good place and I think perhaps that life is working against me, it feels oppressive. So perhaps try out practicing gratitude on a regular basis and see how it shifts both your internal world and your external reality. This next one is that gratitude can help balance out our ego. Now, I'm not saying ego is a bad thing. I do think we need some sense of ego to navigate our way around this world, but I think too much ego is not helpful. It might make us feel quite entitled. Maybe it can make us feel more powerful as magical practitioners than we actually are. I think we need to keep our feet on the ground and remain humble and have some humility. And I think that's where gratitude comes in. I know myself, it's been very easy for me to look at my successes in life, and I don't really mean magic so much, but the success I've had in my mundane life of what I've achieved with my career. And it's been easy for me to attribute all of that to myself, when in fact I've had people around me who have really supported me, and without them being there, whether it was offering practical support or mental and emotional support, I don't think I'd have got where I am. So it's really putting one's success in the context of that gratitude, so we can think about, well, this wasn't just down to me, this was because of other people too. We don't exist in a vacuum, we exist within the context of other people. So it makes sense that it is not just us alone that has got us to where we are. And this leads me on to the next one, which is gratitude can help to build our relationship with spiritual entities. So again, if we think about that aspect of it's not just us who has achieved or who has got to where we are in life, if you think about the Magickal process, it's very easy for us to sit here and say, oh yeah, my magic worked because, I don't know, I'm a great magical practitioner, or it was all me. It's not that. We are not working in isolation. We are working with entities that we cannot necessarily see. We may sense them at some level, but I don't really think we can understand fully what these entities are and how it all works. And I'm happy to leave that. I'm willing to put my faith in the fact that it does work and not try to figure out exactly how it does. But having that gratitude and humility and being humble about our magic helps to remind us that we are not doing this alone. It is not just us. We have entities that are helping us, and remembering that can help us to approach our magic with that humility, not go in arrogant and entitled, but maybe add a bit of that relationship building into our magical practice, so we don't go in demanding. First of all, we focus on building those relationships and then working with the entities rather than demanding that they do our bidding. I recognise that perhaps in some grimoires it is exactly that, it's demanding, but personally that's not the way I like to work. I prefer to try and develop those relationships and work with entities, because I don't have the power to do this on my own. I'm approaching them with gratitude and thankfulness that they hopefully are going to help me. Let me know in the comments about how gratitude works in your life and how it has worked in your magical practice. Have you found that practicing gratitude has really shifted your mindset and it's shifted the outcomes and the experience of your magical practice? I'd love to hear what you've got to say. Take good care, be well, and I'll speak to you soon.